All right. Welcome to Friday. We're going to end your week, or as I should say, just because it's the weekend doesn't mean the week ends. But anyways, we're going to hopefully put a smile on your guys' faces here. I'm here with my man, D Mace. Welcome, D Mace.
Hey, thanks so much for having me, Rahul.
Absolutely, man.
Pretty awesome.
What a great way to spend a Friday with a GSD member. So, this title is topicked the rebirth. This is David Mason coming back home to the GSD after a little brief break, and we're gonna break down the story of what his experience has been, not only just from having a break, but then also coming back and what's resurfaced in the business and what's gone good and where we're heading with his business. So if you guys are here live, hashtag live. If you're here on the replay, hashtag replay. Drop some comments when you hear something dope. Smash that heart button. That helps with the algorithm, of course, but also supporting D-Mace and our group and the lovely members that are in here. That'd be awesome. And as you hear a nugget, type that nugget in the chat so you can help somebody else in the group, because there's a little hinges are going to swing open massive freaking doors. So when we bring knowledge to go viral and we share these stories, we just greatly appreciate when you guys also participate, because this is also to show everybody what is absolutely possible when you have the right trajectory and the right people around you. Awesome. Let's dive into this sucker, man. So David and I had worked together a long time ago. Like, I want to say, like, we started our journey in 2021. We started off with our one-on-one call, then we went into the GSD, and then things were going well. Then you took a break. You got like some shit together, right? You got some mindset groups going and some other options that were helpful along the journey. And then you and I just had a conversation. What is it, like 3 weeks ago? I want to
It
say
was
maybe.
literally a month ago today. Your guys' my invoice posted today, and here we are. So that's a badass little synchronicity right there, man.
That is amazing.
It's
So
like a
we're
month to the day,
a
literally.
month today. Perfect.
I mean, we're a little early because like you are still at 100%. Are you still at 100% close rate?
At 100%. No, my close rate has gone down a little bit. So I'm probably closer to like 85 to
99.
90. I'd have to just look at my numbers. But like, I do so much content that my close rate has not I don't look at it as a close rate anymore. It's more of
Right.
like, we do so much nurturing and stuff that everybody comes in hot, right? They know who we are, what
Yeah.
we do. They've seen the results. And now they're just like, fuck it. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not getting those results. Let me just talk and join.
Yeah, but we hopped on a call. You reached out, like you reached out over DM, and we got on a call, and like we talked for like an hour, and I was like, oh, I'm like, yep, and that was like 6 at night or something,
Yep.
and so here we
Friday
are, right?
night
And I think it
too.
was a
And it was a
Friday
Friday.
too,
Like,
man.
that was a
I think it
Friday
was a
night too.
Friday.
And we're on a Friday again.
Pretty badass. That's some awesome synchronicity. And so that really ties into like what the hell has been going on with me. Like when I signed up with you guys, I knew you guys were the real deal, and I knew like I wanted to be in the tribe. And I wasn't in a place to benefit from it. Like I benefited from it, but I wasn't in a place to utilize, get the most out of it, leverage it, because my mindset was so fucky, right? So I really worked hard to get my mindset like dialed and tuned in, and that has just made all of the difference. And so when you reached out to me, I'm like, because all these synchronicities keeps happening and all these really cool things are happening. You reached out, another coach reached out, like a bunch of people in my life appeared and sucked all, liquidated all my cash.
Mhm.
And then I was like, and that just put a fire under my ass. And so here we are. Like, I'm going to have a record month. I'm going to have a record month this month, and it's just been an awesome journey, man. Like, I'm here to just get the most out of you guys. I love our calls, and love the community, man.
No, I love it. And just going back to what you referenced is that, like, the first, when you were originally in GSD 2021, David, you were still scrapping away, getting shit together. Because I remember the conversation pretty clearly. Hopefully this surprises you on my memory too. You had a lot of different things that you were offering, like SEO and all these different vendors and link building and funnels. And
Yep.
and then my first piece of advice is like, hey, you no longer do these three services. And I snapped. I'm like, they're gone. Like, let's simplify our shit.
Yeah, you were
Uh,
like, Hey, I remember you looking at my offer and like my margins or whatever, and you're like, you're looking to make like $300, like by offering traffic. Like, don't do traffic. I'm like, oh my God, you just like, and that was on our first go, like our 1-to-1.
Yeah.
You brought that in. I'm like, that saved me so much money, time, and energy. Interestingly, I'm pivoting back to that. So I know that the one Achilles heel in my business is the paid side of things. And that's definitely a back end offer that I'll be able to leverage for my clients. And I do really want to just delegate that, but I don't feel I'm not comfortable yet, like delegating it until I learn it. So I feel
Right.
like in order to own your business, you got to know what the hell's going on, and you got to have some like I can't just be like, here you go, and hope it works magically. Sometimes that works, but I just want to know.
Yeah, I
So
mean,
that's a
it
big
takes a
focus for
certain,
me,
it,
man.
it takes a very good skill to be able to flip other value added services. But also, what you mentioned is like get so good at what you do that you can also help elevate other people with additional services. So you can be that consultant, that source that you can kind of consolidate all their vendors into one, and you can quarterback the third party services like paid advertising. And
Yes.
what was cool on your message that we were going back and forth on Messenger was like feeling confident that like we have your back, like you have those calls, you can actually make these like
Right.
ancillary offers to be able to ascend people even further up the ladder in your food chain
Yeah.
of your offer stack. But also have the confidence to do so, because that goes back to mindset. Like if you believe you can't, you will not. If you
You will
believe
not.
you can and you believe you can more than you can't, you'll be leaning the right way. But then when you have a community that's saying you can, you can, you can, because we can and we'll help you, then you're like, fuck, rising tide lifts all boats, right?
Oh, absolutely. So, right off the way, I want to share this. Okay. So, on our very first, kind of one of our first follow up calls, I was like, man, I don't know. So, one thing I've been really focusing on is like streamlining and productizing. So, where I really want to be, not in a needy way, but what I'm driving towards, and that's going to really start come uh, third week of April, is doing quiz funnels. So doing quiz funnels for coaches and consultants, really focusing on that, and that's going to be like the main squeeze bread and butter. But I still got to keep the lights on, right? And so you and I had that conversation where you're like, it was on our onboarding call, like my reconnect call with you. I'm like, yeah, I don't know, man. I know I could go to like Driven and close them on a 3.6K like reviews engine, but it's not in alignment with where I want to be going. And you're like, dude, take that cash. Like take that cash, especially if you can get it for that and how long it's going to take you, whatever. And what I ended up doing is like went right ahead, closed them on that, and I'm delegated that. So I've delegated that. So at least that's capital that I have now or revenue that I have in my business to operate with that I wouldn't have had before. Hadn't number one, we had that conversation and you helped me shift that mindset a little bit, get that perspective. Um, and then I certainly wouldn't have the opportunity that I'm right now with the same guy on a 2.5K per month offer where he's going to drop 1K in ad spend and 1.5 for me to manage his ads. And there's no way I would even offer that to him. And I got another 9K on the table that's going to close Tuesday that involves ads if I didn't have this program. If I didn't have you and Cody and everyone else like in the background being able to like scratch my back and help me and consult me, I would not even offer those. And I know it's the Achilles heel of my business. Like you can't like there's it's not congruent for me to be like, yeah, I do like funnels for you. And what I do really well, really well is like the strategy and the build outs and the technical side of shit and the design of stuff. But that traffic piece, I'm really good on organic, LinkedIn particularly. But the paid stuff is like that one last level that I need to get to. They'll be like, okay, cool. You come through the quiz funnel challenge. You got a pretty decent organic network. You got a way to pull them off channel, get them into your deal. Perfect. That's a win. They come to your website. Perfect. You have a win. But if you really want to scale, you're going to need paid and who are you going to go to? So that's where my thinking is. And that's ultimately all I want to do. But right now, I need to do these other deals so that I can float and have cash to do these other things. And the other thing that's really awesome is it's forcing me back into the agency mentality of delegate, project manage, streamline, SOPs, like all of that shit. Whereas before, man, when I was on my break, I pretty much like from the GSD, I was pretty much just like doing everything because I was like, dude, fuck like working and like banging my head around it's not done right. Now I gotta fix it and like, oh, like all of that extra work. I'm like, I'm just gonna like take less and keep more and be done with it. But like that's not where I want to go because I want to get to that seven-figure mark. Like I'm gonna need to know how to manage a team. I'm gonna need to know how to build out these systems in a way that makes sense. And so it's like, all right, well, and that's all serving a higher purpose because the agency and everything for me is great. It's a good engine for like authority, personal growth, fucking wealth, all of that. But my heart and soul is in coaching, teaching, the writing, journaling, like helping other people, like on this whole mindset, spiritual journey. That's where I want to go. And I'm going to be coming from a way larger place of authority and position if I'm like, yo, like it went from a fucking 40 grand a year, like middle school English teacher to seven figures in like 6 years. Like
Mm-hmm.
that story is big. And
Yeah.
here's what I needed to make that happen.
Yeah, leadership plays a big quality along that growth trajectory. So you can create that what we call the Henry Ford power plant, the assembly line of the agency. So when a deal or a project comes in, there's roles and responsibilities along the assembly line, so the wheels don't fall off. It doesn't get all fucked up, and you don't have to have those like angry calls with clients where they're pissed off because shit's late, or your sleepless nights because you don't know how to delegate, or you wish everybody was you and then you hoard all the work back. We just have to get really good at those SOPs, dial them in, and delegate. Now, I'm glad you're back on this trajectory, and I want to kind of focus in on like since we started, like things have changed. Like you touched on it, you've got some deals that you may not have had the confidence or know how to just bring them over the line that quickly, and they could have turned into pipeline deals. And once it's a pipeline deal, so for a lot of people, it's like if this was a coin right here, we flip it and maybe they'll answer, maybe they won't. And chances are you'll fuck the deal up, right? A lot of people, not you specifically, but a lot of people, that's how they're operating their business. It's because they don't know. They don't know certain simple tricks, tips, strategies to get that foot forward in the business. Because if you do want to have a higher perspective, like you mentioned, you want to be in the seven figure, you want to do a bigger role for life and community, you have to have that perspective. And that's so fucking easy to say. Everybody says, what's your perspective? You have to have a higher perspective. But you truly have to have somebody looking from the mountaintops down on your business and saying, here's the shit of reason why you're not going to get there. And as a recipient of information, you have to be able to receive it. That person's job is to tell you the fucking truth. And if you don't believe them, that's on you. That's your unopen-mindedness that's saying the world's out to get me because the last coach didn't perform. That's a fucking
Yeah, that's
mindset.
victim mindset bullshit.
Yeah, yeah, and that's what I liked about our conversation. It was just fluid. It was like I bet you had some sort of skepticism responding to my DM saying like, "Fuck, if I talk to Rahul,
Oh,
I'm
I
going to be
knew.
back
The
in the
minute I
GSD."
replied, I'm like, ah, there goes money.
But now there goes money to now. How does it feel now that you did invest it?
Oh, well, like I think we estimated right now, like come Tuesday, it could Tuesday. I'm intending Tuesday to be my largest cash collected day to date, and that amount will be 10.5.
10.5. So not a bad investment considering
No,
we're like, I'm not going to disclose the numbers or anything, but we're on a payment plan. So you've already way ahead ROI'd more than like, I mean, I imagine
as
the
of
whole,
right now, I'm even for a good period of time. That is for sure.
yeah. If we go
Yeah.
back in time and collect, like talk about the first year you're with us, but if we're talking
Yes.
about this next go around, like from when we started to what you've invested to where we are today, the ROI is, I can't even calculate it, like maybe 10, 15x at the moment.
Man, I
Bro.
want to say this. Okay, so this is what I've been thinking about our call coming up, and I want to really show up and deliver for you and the tribe. Um, it's not just the coaching and the assets and the community. It's also been for me like the okay. So if you ask a question and you ask a good like I love Whiting's like the quality of your life is determined by the quality of your questions. So you ask the right, if you really are serious about learning, really rich and intelligent people love it when you ask intelligent questions, and they'll tell you the answers. If you ask them stupid fucking questions, like they may not. Point is like, yo, what's the first book I should read on X? And if you get that answer, what the is that worth? You can't put a price on it, right? I'm going to give an example. I invested in Dan, the SAAS guy. Dan, doesn't matter. He'll come to me in a second. Like, yo, coach, like in the group, it's like $2,500 program. It wasn't even a program, it was a course. I'm like, with the group access, I'm like, what's the best book on discipline? Ask the group. And Dan freaking replies like 75 hard. And I'm just like, okay, coach recommends 75 hard. I'm going to order that book. I asked, he told me, he's a billionaire, pretty sure. Like, I'm going to read that book. 2 years ago, and this is in alignment, 2 years ago, there was one little line in that book. It's like, no alcohol, not a sip, not a drop for 75 days. And I'm just like, no, I'm not doing this. That's the deal breaker. And that was a giant fucking red flag for me. And I was like, not in that place now. And now that I'm on day 52 of the program, like perfect execution, the shit in my life and in my business is exponentially, like, it's just all connected because of the mental toughness and the discipline I'm getting out of this. And so I have no way of repaying Dan for that one comment, because it came from him. It wasn't like some other rando. It was like him, my coach, saying this. You asked, it's this. And I didn't argue with it, and I followed it. And that's where I was before. I wasn't like listening to you guys, and I wasn't taking action. I literally did not embody get shit done. And right now, dude, like on my phone, on my screens, it's the GSD
your phone next
thing.
To you? Do you have your phone next to you? Show them the screensaver that you're there.
Yeah, so the screensaver is right here. Let me load her up. Bam. It's right there. Okay? Every fucking day I go to wake up my phone, every moment I wake up my phone, it's like we're getting shit done. And that fucking image has been worth 10 grand. I'm not kidding you. That is the fucking tie back. Having that image on my phone in the context of this tribe and on my computer screen is like, I can't put a price on it, man, because of what it's done for my energy and like the fucking motivation. Not because it's an image. It's because of the symbolism of it. It's because of what I believe about it. I believe it. I didn't believe it before. Yeah, and that is everything. And that comes, again, down to this. And guess who introduced me to the big fucking tools and the person to help me with this? You guys.
Yep. So, yeah, no, like, and that's what I love about you is that you've got these coaches and you're trusting and following them. Now, because you were in our group and it was new to you, all of that shit that you have now is coming out of you. So it's kind of like if you're learning a new skill, you need the time to adapt. And once you have the time to adapt, then it becomes embodied. Once you believe it to be true, you can go execute it, right? Because now we're on wave number 2, which is even more important than wave number 1, because now you have foundational knowledge, you have skills, you have mindset, you have more discipline. Now we have like the true GSD culture involved into this whole entire pattern and process, where I can just like, I can see your energy, your DMs to me. Everything you've sent me is like, got a new opportunity, close the opportunity, got a new opportunity. Oh, they're thinking about the opportunity. They're going to close on Tuesday. Like, everything you're telling me is just the best updates in your KPI sheets. And I'm like, fuck, you're the perfect student, perfect member for our group, that we want everybody to track their metrics, because only good things fucking happen. If we know what we're doing, we can actually build a roadmap. But if we don't track things, we're building a roadmap. It'll get where we want to go. It'll just take a little bit longer.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna share.
Yeah, do you want me to share that screen, that picture?
Fuck yeah! Before we do that,
yeah,
talk about tracking your metrics. That's my weight. I'm down 20 pounds,
That's the
bro.
kind of that's the
That if
pattern
and
you
if you
want.
if you're having a shit day, you're like, like look at the fucking numbers, man. What are the
Yeah.
numbers telling you? Like the numbers like negate the feelings. And
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, sorry. I was going to share the screen. I was
No.
going to ask you. You're going to have to help me explain this because I pulled it up
Okay.
right
This
before.
was okay, so here we are, man. So today was April. So if you look in the upper left-hand corner, that was
Yep.
Tuesday, May or April 6th of
Yep.
21. And this was an exercise you had us do, I believe,
Oh,
man.
on a
This was
live.
before
Yeah,
this
I
was
remember that.
yeah, this was before
You
you
weren't even in the
even
GSD then. Like
I
I think
wasn't, and we
nah.
hadn't even had our coaching call. I don't think.
Yeah,
I
no,
don't think we had
we
had our
hadn't. I
coaching
remember
call.
the I remember this exercise. This is good. Walk me through it. It's memory lane for me, but this is awesome.
So what I thought was super fucking impressive is right off the bat is you started with a mindfulness exercise. Breathe in, close your eyes, think about whatever. And I did that with you. I don't remember exactly what it was, but here's what I remember. You had 120 people or something sitting in that Zoom call. And when we finished, there were like 50. And so 50 were like, fuck this, I'm out. Awesome filter right there, right?
Yep,
So
get
I mean, I was like,
the
wow,
non-serious
man.
feeling.
And like the authenticity you came at, you're like, this is who I am. This is what I fucking do. If you don't like it, you can leave. Man, that is wealth. That is power. That is like fucking confidence. If you don't have that confidence, you're not gonna fucking close. Like, so the exercise was like we did the thing, and they're like, all right, I want you to do this. I want you to right now, like write down what are you making per month right now, and what and on the left hand side, and on the right hand side, write down like what your monthly goal is, and like within a year, where do you want to be in a year? And I was like, you can see the dates like 2022. All right, cool. So then you're like, okay, you do what's the difference between that number? So it was like 30 minus 9 put me at 21, right? So I need to make up another 21K a month. That number seemed like daunting to me. But I looked at the differences. I'm like, I'm at 252K a year or I'm at 360K a year if you look at those boxes in 1 year. And I'm like, and I know the whole fucking time, like, dude, I know I could do this if I can make 9K. I was making $4,000 and taking home $3,000 a fucking month as a teacher. Like, I'm making 3x what I was before. If I could do that, I can do this. This wasn't like, didn't really believe it. All right. So then you're like, three things on the right. What are three things that are self-taught? I haven't even looked at this in so long, bro. So three things. So by the way, those of you watching, like I had this thought, like I knew I had this in my journal and I was kind of having a moment because I'm like, I couldn't find it. I knew where I was supposed to be. And it wasn't like, fuck, man, this is like my business. Like this is the beginning of me. Like I can't lose this.
Yeah.
So I went and found it for this call and shot him the message. So it says three things that are self-sabotaging, what to get rid of. So sleep hygiene, frivolous spending, self-doubt, and fear. And guess what? I've gotten rid of all three of. Every fucking one of them. I am on rails when it comes to my sleep routine, AM and PM. And here's the biggest thing, man. It's like I railed against rails. I hated the idea of routines. I hated the idea of like having to be a certain thing a certain way. What I've realized is that you are offloading that program. You are offloading that shit so that it can be on autopilot, fucking AI running for you, so that you can use this to focus on the shit that's going to make you money. If I'm using my time in my day, like, I don't know, like what am I going to eat, or when do I go to bed, or what the fuck do I do next? It's like, dude, that is just like stupid use of time. Routines are awesome. So there's that. So then three things to reach your goal. So 5AC consistency. I'm on day 52 of that right now. Optimizing week, pretty fucking dialed. 10x mindset. There I am. It took an extra year, but I believe this was happening. And that's the other thing I learned. Like you can set your goals, but do not and set timelines and benchmarks. But if you get all fucking butthurt because like you don't meet it on time, that is not a growth mindset. You're like, figure out what was wrong, aim high, the whole fucking aim for the stars, and if you miss, you land on the moon or whatever, right? Cool. And then here you had us rate ourselves, and I'm like, God, I'm crushing this. Like, so one out of 12, I think it was. Like, have you worked with a client before? No, so I think it was
No,
a one
it
or a
was a
two.
scorecard game. We had to get to a
Yeah, it's
certain
a
number.
scorecard game.
Yeah, it was
So have you
it was
ever worked with a client before? Have you you have revenue for marketing services? Yes. You have a um ride and ride and offer idea, a niche and offer idea. You're committed to building your company and you provide value to your audience and clients. Yes, 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 yes.
I mean, that's how simple the formula is. I mean, but going back to what you said, like a year, like that, think about the grand scheme of life. Let's just agree
Okay.
that men are gonna live till 80 years old. I think it's 84 if you look at a census poll, but let's just go with 80. Could be a little bit more or less. But anyways, like think about 1 year of that lifespan. Like that hard work tees you up for so much bigger things in life. Because all the great people, the Kobe Bryants to the Mark Cubans or whatnot, do you think they tried to get a something done in 3 months? Where they were thinking, I'm gonna go all in on this job and this career path, and it's just going to work.
Mm-hmm.
And it's gonna take 3 months, it could take a year, and luck strikes along the way, the more committed you are.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I truly believe is that like anybody who's lucky is just so prepared for the opportunity. That's how you get more luck.
Right.
That's why like when I tell the stories inside the inner circle of trying to inspire everybody is like, look, I get paid to drink fucking coffee at Starbucks because people want to talk to me there and see me on my laptop and they come up to me and say, well, what do you do? Well, I own a business. How can you help me? And then I know what to do. It's very easy. So now when I go get coffee, like the dude last time, literally, I have it saved in my drawer. He just went and had a good conversation with me, went to the front and bought me a a gift card for my time. And I'm like, well, I'm worth like 1,000 an hour. That's probably like 25 bucks on there, man. But anyways, no, but that's like the confidence and skill that I want everybody to have in whatever it is they do: coaching, consulting, marketing, funnels, fucking mindset coaches, shit. It's all about the confidence and the skill set, and that creates, like, once you have the skill set, then it's the confidence. Some people don't have the skill set and they have the confidence. Now it's matching those two together, and then your
Right.
preparation meets a lot of opportunity, and then you feel like you can't be stopped. You feel like you took a limitless pill and the world is going slow, and you can see things in slow motion, which is the greatest part of running the business, is once you get to that perspective. And everybody's always learning, man. You're always, like, the one thing I never feel bad about, and you tell me if you agree, is I don't care when if I go to like a nice restaurant and I blow like 2 grand on a fucking dinner because I had too many drinks with a bunch of buddies. Regret and remorse are always coming in the next day, along with probably a hangover. But when I blow money on education, I don't look at it as blowing money on education. I look at it as investing into learning one thing that can make me 20, 30, 40,000 over the next couple of years. Or even more. Some unlock a lot more opportunity and potential, but I never have remorse off making a decision that is in my education, but I do when it has to do with stupid shit I never needed in the first place.
I mean, dude, I'm just shy of 100K invested so far since I started this business in coaching and consulting
Why do you do it though?
because because of the return. And not every single coach is going to be like your knight in shining armor. Like, you got to take it, like, number one, that's kind of bullshit. No one's going to rescue you. You have to, like, own your shit, ask the right questions, and actually don't let your ego get in the way if, like, it's in conflict with how you think things should go. Like, you hired the coach to help you because you don't know. So trust that.
Mm-hmm.
um every coach I've worked with has worked with coaches. You have a coach.
Mm-hmm.
Like, anyone who's serious about growing and personal development, that's how this game works on the planet.
I find it so fascinating that people have like coaches their whole lives until shit is serious. Like for instance, like you might have like college, you might call those their teachers, but technically, if we want to term, they could be considered somewhat coaches.
Sure.
And then when you're in high school, same thing. When you're in middle school, same thing. When you're in grade school, same thing. You play a sport, same thing. You're investing, investing, and then it's like, hey, I'm starting my business. Let me not invest. Let me figure it out. And it's like, imagine if like Roger Federer said, "Let me learn tennis on YouTube." I think he'd be fucking one of the greatest, worth $1 billion.
I mean,
uh,
dude. I mean, the maxim is right. Like, really rich people understand like you can always make more money, you can't get more time. And so if you can leverage other people's knowledge, okay, so I love this analogy from the Matrix, right? Where Trinity's on the roof and the dude's coming and like Neo just finished dodging the bullets. She's like, "How did you move like that?" And she's like, I need to know how to fly the blah 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 model helicopter now." She's like, "Done." Okay, fuck, bro. That's a book. That's just a book you can buy for $30 or $5. And you just downloaded 10 years of knowledge in $5 in a couple hours, right? Now, with you at $1,000 an hour more, like, bro, like, what is that worth in terms of speeding up my learning curve? Because you mountain biking, do it, love it. When I first started, I didn't believe certain shit was even possible. How do you climb that? How do you drop that? Like what the like I didn't believe it was even possible because I was out on my own. I didn't even believe it was possible. And I will never forget the first ride out here, Lunch Loops, Grand Junction. This is world-class shit. Literally, like people spend entire weeks of their saved vacation to come here and ride for 3 days. And it's 10 minutes from my house. And I was too like chicken shit to like figure it out. But then I went, saw someone do it, model it for me, tell me what to do, and now I'm like fucking known in the valley as like D Mason. I'm like fucking a force to be reckoned with.
See
But I
that?
didn't even believe it was possible until I saw those dudes do it.
Yeah. And now what are you guys in the audience? What do you guys feel is possible for your business? Now it expands out to everything, whether it's mountain biking, surfing, playing an adult league. I mean, it's all about that perspective. And once you have that perspective, it really goes with you all around as a well-oiled human being in other areas of life. And I've noticed that too, is like the more I take my business acumen and put it into the gym. And like you, I've dropped a bit of weight. And then I take that same acumen and I put it into personal life. So everything is like well balanced, but it all started with like the mindset, the skill, the coach, etc. And then I bring it back into other areas. So it
Mm-hmm.
definitely has like that circumference of goal setting, if you will. You take the life
Yes.
serious. You put more urgency on the shit you've been putting off, because it's so easy to say, I'll do it next week. But how many next weeks are you willing to go through? Because there's not very many next weeks in life. Because before you
No.
know it, you're going to be from your 20s to your 30s to your 40s to your 50s to your 60s. And you're going to wonder what the fuck happened. And then it becomes that too late mentality. But the problem is, the only person who's telling people it's too late is the person who's saying it to themselves, the mirror.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's why we named shit "Get Shit Done," because we don't mean get shit done later. Otherwise, it would have a whole different name, right? It means get shit
Right.
done. And if you have goals, do it now. Winners do it now. I have
Yeah.
that poster right behind me with my dad. It's kind of blurred out, but above it, it literally, or right below it, it says "Winners do it now." And that's kind of the operation I live off of, and that's where the GSD really came from. Is that family spirit, the family vibe, is that we do things now, we get shit done. Anyways, thank you for coming on here again, D Mace. I wanted to ask you a question.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, I know that there's a lot of people who maybe don't know who the GSD is, me, Cody, and the rest of the crew, that have been through coaches, been through systems, tried, failed. They've tried organic, they've tried paid. They're like, I can just figure it out on my own and use all that old information. And they're a little skeptical, they're a little burned, they're on the fence. Like, what do you tell those people that are considering the GSD, that are on the fence? What would you say to them now?
Like do the exercise. That you so watch the replay and do the exercise. Number one. Where do you fall in that category? Where do you want to be? And ask yourself, like, honestly, like, ask yourself an honest question, like, are you cool doing this by yourself? Because every great organization out there is a team. We're a social critter. Like, we can't separate entrepreneur from like human being that needs to eat and sleep. Like, it's all connected. So the analogy is like, if high performing companies and individual like Michael Jordan couldn't do it alone, had to have his team, had a coach. Like ask yourself, like, if that's like, be it like really, where do you want to be in a year, and be like, be brutally honest with yourself and be like, am I cool doing this by myself? Am I okay burning another year that's going to go bam? The older you get, the faster it goes. I'm 48. Can't even believe it. Ask yourself if you got another year to just like kind of figure it out on your own, or if you want to get in and download the flying instructions for your business and fucking just like go. Like, that's the question you ask yourself. And then I would say money is replaceable. Go ahead and be tight. I literally had an overdraft fee because I was playing the game. I had just like liquid. I didn't want to touch my savings. It's a nice stack. And I'm like, I'm not touching it between you and like, I'm like, I went ahead and like, I trusted, and I liquidated a shit ton of cash. And you know what that did? It made me fucking pick up the phone more. It made me do more work. It made me like get shit done more, because I knew I wasn't gonna. And I'm like, I tried to play the game of not wiring any money, and it's like, okay. So I just got dinged, made the call, got it back, whatever. That was a choice. I could have easily thrown money around and like, but I was like, no, I don't want to do that. I'd rather close another deal or see it. I'd rather go razor thin to force myself to hustle more in a healthy way than be like, no, I'll just put it on a credit card. Because even that is like, do that. If like you're fucking serious about like business debt, is not bad debt, and it doesn't affect your personal at all if you do it on business. If you're serious about it, invest in it and then return your investment as quickly as you humanly can. I did it this time in a month. So there's that. And Tuesday is going to be a whole lot more than that. So like, I guess if you're serious, don't be like, if you're gonna be one of the 50 that bounces at the beginning of the call with Cody and or Rahul in the meditation, cool. Like, it's not for you. But if you're like me, and you sit through the meditation and this is resonating with you, and you're like, God damn it, I want in. Like, make it happen and trust that the process is for you, and trust that these guys are like, have your best interests at heart, because they do.
I love it, man. Well, thanks for being on here. And for everybody else that's out there, smash that heart button, give David some love over here. Let us know that you were here on the replay or the live. Quick announcement before we wrap this up. We have our Go High Level SAAS challenge. It's going to be fire, absolutely fucking fire, like even more than fire. Whatever's above fire is what this is going to be. So it's joingsd.com/GHL. joingsd.com/GHL. Go register there now. All you have to do is fill in a few fields. And you'll be there. Day 2 and day 3 is going to be extra special. We're bringing in the founders on day 2 and another one on day 3. We have a cool agenda lined up. It'll be fun. It'll be interactive. These are our people. We're here to make knowledge go viral. We're here to help as many people as we possibly can with not only our free content, but also those of you guys that decide you want to push the button, get on our calendar and have a conversation about how we could possibly help. I encourage that. It's just a conversation. You won't die. You won't get pregnant by speaking with us. I promise you that. You'll learn something. And the worst thing that will happen is that you'll learn some skill to make some money. So I encourage people to hop on a call with us if you want to. Totally up to you. But get to know us, jump in this group, watch some content. You'll see we're the real deal, or at least you can make that perspective on your own. But again, thank you, D Mace, for hopping on here, and everybody out there. Let's GSD as we go.